Hey, it's Dr. Jen here, and I just posted a blog on my website, benzowithdrawalhelp.com, about anhedonia and lack of motivation in benzo withdrawal. Two very, very common symptoms, and I go into a little depth of what causes the lack of motivation and the anhedonia and ways that we can cope. So I hope that you will go over benzowithdrawalhelp.com and read the blog post, because I really would love for you to write your questions about it or your comments, share what has helped you or how you have best coped with it. It's always good when we get people talking in the community to help one another. So just little highlights. We have a lot of that because our nervous system is dysregulated. We have downregulated GABA receptors. That's a whole inhibitory system. So we've got too much glutamate being overly active. That's the gas pedal. That's the excitatory. So we are in a situation where our nervous system is dysregulated, and with that comes our nervous system being more in a protect state. And even though we might have a lot of fight or flight or adrenaline, there is still things going on that can cause us to go more into that freeze state, because it's fight, flight, or freeze in the protect state. And that freeze state is where things just kind of bottom out and we don't feel like doing anything. We're frozen. It can just be so overwhelming to be in that state. Another reason is with the downregulation of the GABA receptors, there's a whole cascade of things that go on. Nothing works in isolation in the brain. So it's not just downregulated GABA receptors. So we know that lack of dopamine, which is the motivational, kind of the reward neurotransmitter, it's not doing everything that it normally does or quote unquote should be doing. Serotonin, the feel good, the happy kind of neurotransmitter, everything is a little out of whack. So ways that we can cope, just in a quick nutshell. Acceptance. Acceptance is huge for so many things, everything in life. We can't control what's happening. We can't really control life. So the only thing we can try to control is the way that we respond to things. So radical acceptance is going to be very, very helpful, and it's easier said than practiced, I know, but the more that we can do our best to practice acceptance and remind ourselves, I have these symptoms because I'm in benzo withdrawal, and to remind ourselves that they are going to go away, we are going to get better, instead of fighting the symptoms and worrying about them and making them, just the complete focus of our lives, is really helpful. So acceptance is really good, and tuck in some gratitude with the acceptance. Again, I know easier said than done, but gratitude is like a magic elixir for our brain and our nervous system. It grows the region in our brain that really help us to be healthy and happy. And from gratitude births a whole bunch of other good, wonderful things like generosity and lots of other things, because gratitude actually shifts us into a mindset of, I have enough. I'm grateful for these things. And it takes us out of that attitude of loss and regret and grief, which doesn't help us in the long run. It just kind of keeps fuel for the protect state, the sympathetic fight flight, and then the dorsal vagal freeze, the parasympathetic dorsal vagal freeze response. So gratitude is really, really, really important. And it builds up this sense of, I have enough. I'm grateful for what I have, puts the focus on the here and now, and it really can help turn down the volume of our suffering. So acceptance tucked in with some gratitude, and distraction. Distraction's really big in benzo withdrawal. It's big for most things in life too when we're struggling with things, but distraction's really key and critical in benzo withdrawal. And one of the best ways to distract, in my humble opinion, is to learn something new. Because when we're learning something new, the brain's busy connecting the neurons to put down a new pathway of knowledge. And that means we're taking the focus off of our suffering and we're turning that volume down. So that's important for us to do. And when we do that, when we learn something new, guess what happens? We get a nice dose of dopamine, and that feels good. Now, I know you're going to say, but Jen, I'm learning something new, but I still have anhedonia and everything's just flat. Still don't want to do much. I get it. We are still, we're getting the dopamine, but we're just not able to access it due to all the things that have gone on in our brain because of the neuroadaptation from the benzo. But it's still good to do, even because your body is still getting that dose of dopamine. It's just not translating into your lived experience of the feeling from it. That's all. So it's still a very good thing to practice. Being in a good community that is positive and focused on healing is one of the reasons I created my support group, so that we could come together, because together we are better. It's a biological imperative to be in connection with one another. It's not a nice to have, it is a have to have. It's a biological imperative. So join a positive support group where people aren't just focused on their suffering and sharing their suffering, but it's a place where they're focusing on solutions and coming together and sharing. Trying to think of some of the other things that were in the blog. Acceptance, learning, coming together, those types of things. I think there are a few more things in there. So I'll let you go over there and take a read, but I really do hope that you will, on the website, post some ideas of how you have helped, or things that have helped you in benzo withdrawal. And especially with the idea to anhedonia and the lack of motivation. I experienced both very intensely. It took quite a while for mine to get better, but my story's my story. There's reasons that my withdrawal recovery was as intense as it was. So it's my story, it's not your story, so don't let my story scare you. But it took me a while. And one of the things that really helped me was to learn something new. I learned how to draw, knit, crochet, and I learned how to garden much better. And those things really, really helped. I also came to a point where I had to practice radical acceptance. And once I did that, my suffering really did. The volume turned down. Now, I still had my symptoms. It's not a cure. I wish it was. It's not, but it is a way that we can reduce our suffering. So radical acceptance for me, and a bunch of gratitude, which I still practice to this very day. It really keeps me kind of on the straight and narrow of being happy and healthy. So go on over, read the blog. Please leave your comments. Feel free to leave some comments here too, but I do hope that you'll leave some on the website, because not everybody that reads my blogs comes and watches these videos, and vice versa. But really would love to hear what has helped you to manage and cope and get through the anhedonia and the lack of motivation. And I'll just leave with a boatload of encouragement to let you know it really is going to go away. It's going to get so much better as your nervous system settles down. And I believe this with my whole heart. I believe that once we've gone through benzo withdrawal, colors are brighter. The sound of birds singing is more beautiful. We just don't sweat the small stuff, and we have a larger capacity for joy and happiness, especially if we are putting those 4 cornerstones of well-being into practice. I love my 4 cornerstones. Eat right, which is a whole food plant-based diet. Move enough, not too much, not too little. Reduce your stress, and be love in the world. And that is kind, caring, compassionate, forgiveness, gratitude, generosity, grace. transformational listening, really exquisite listening skills, because that's love in action. Acceptance, patience, curiosity, awe, wonder, all those types of things come from a nervous system being in our default state, which is the parasympathetic ventral vagal response. So learn the 4 cornerstones of well-being, put them into practice as best as you can, because that's going to stack the cards in your favor for you to heal as quickly as possible, but then to really rise up out of benzo withdrawal, truly your highest and best self. So know that you have a lot to look forward to. Life on this side of benzo withdrawal really is sweet and precious. It truly is. And each and every one of you, you're on your journey to get here. So keep going. And I'm here if you need me. Feel free to book a coaching session or join the support group. But I'm here if you need me. My passion is to be of help in this world. I want people to live their highest and best, because then the world's going to be its highest and best. And that's the world that I'd like to live in. All right, let's end this video as we always do. Are you ready? We're going to say it twice. I am safe. I am healing. I will recover. One more time. I am safe. I am healing. I will recover. Because those things are true. So keep going. Till the next video, please take really good care of yourselves.